Hello and welcome to Blue Army TV. I'm sitting after Carlisle have beaten Grimsby 2-0 at Brunton Park. In a game that, if I had to describe it in one word, would probably be routine. You know, it was an easy win. We weren't brilliant, but we were still comfortably better than Grimsby. It was a good game from us. It was a really good game from us. Jordan Gibson, the main talking point from today, I think. He got thrown at that right back role, which I don't like. He had a very good game, but I don't like him playing as a right back because he was very good going forward. He gave us a bit of flair. Obviously got the goal, but I would still like to see a sort of an actual right back playing, because I think at times we did look a little bit exposed on that side. Like, I think the early chances Grimsby had, they all seemed to target the space down on Jordan Gibson's side. He's a very, very good player, Jordan Gibson. He's been a little bit inconsistent this season, but he is a good player. But he's not a right back. I'll tell you that much for free. He is not a right back. He's a very good player, but he's not a right back. I'd like to see him in more where he belongs, in midfield or as a right winger, which at times he was. I think he looked better when they pushed him into midfield, but I think he played really, really well regardless in his job of getting forward. And he obviously gets the goal, but even without the goal, he had a decent game for us. Alfie McCalmont with the other goal. That's 2 goals in 3 games for him. Yeah, very, very good player. It turns out it's another excellent bit of recruiting from either Paul Simpson or Greg Abbott, or the two of them. And he showed bits of promise when he was at Oldham a couple of years ago, and he's starting to establish himself in this team. Now, I've heard from someone that he could potentially be out for the next couple of games, or maybe not the next game, but the game after he's going to be out, because he could potentially be getting called up for Northern Ireland. He's been capped 4 times for them, and he could potentially be going again in his current good form. Do I think he'll go? Probably not. Do I think it'll have much of an impact if he does go? Maybe, because we don't really have anyone to replace him. You could always play with the usual Gibson, Moxon guy midfield. But then again, Alfie McCalmont's been so good recently, and even without his goals, Alfie McCalmont's played really, really well. You know, he's an exciting one. Will he get into the Leeds first team? Probably not. If he was 18, 19, then he'd be one that they're all looking at, but 21 years old, he's probably playing for a club. You know, I don't think he's going to stay on at Leeds. I'd like to see us get him. I think he'd do a very good job in either League 1 or League 2, wherever we end up being. I think he's a very good young player that I think Paul Simpson would do really, really well with. But he could very easily go some championship team, takes a punt on him sort of thing, or a high-end League 1 club like what Bolton are or were when they're in League 1. I think they still are anyways. Or like a Plymouth if they somehow managed to bottle going up. But yeah, really good win from us today. A special mention to Thomas Hawley. I give him a lot of stick on this YouTube channel, I do. And I think a lot of it this season's been justified, but he made a very good save in the first half, and didn't do anything wrong at all. There is a point of view where he probably shouldn't have to make that save if he's a little bit further back and in his right starting position, but it's a good save, and it's a save that if he doesn't make, the game changes a lot, because Grimsby were okay for the first 15-20 minutes. After that they fell apart, and I think the second half we weren't really threatening them too much, and they didn't really threaten us. There was one chance put off the outside of the post, but never really anything too troubling. Yeah, Grimsby they're a decent side. I think you've got to consider that they've just come off the back of beating Southampton, a Premier League side, so they're definitely capable of beating teams. I don't want to say it, but a little bit better than us anyways in the Premier League. But you know, Grimsby are a decent team. They're in the wrong half of the table, but they're still a decent enough team, and they can cause anyone problems on their day, as they showed at Southampton and as they have showed in the past. But we've done the double over them this season. That's something to be proud of. Yeah, the Mariners weren't at their best. We didn't really need to try too hard to beat them. I think the 2 goals were very good. I think, although neither of the strikers scored today, Amari Patrick and Joe Garner were influential in both goals. It was Amari Patrick's sort of pressing and tackling that got us the ball for Alfie McCalmont's first goal, which was really good from Amari Patrick, I think. And on the second goal, it's Joe Garner's sort of build-up play. You know, the 2 strikers, this sort of strike partnership that Paul Simpson's looking like he's starting to favour. Yeah, they're doing really well. Neither of them scored, but both of them really influential in the game and really showed their class. Joe Garner he's a very good footballer. Like, say what you want about him, like he's a cheat. Like, and I love him for it, but he is a cheat. You know, he'll dive and he'll crunch someone 5 seconds later. Um, he's a cheat. He's an experienced player, but he does have a good bit of quality about him. Some of his touches, some of his passing, and he's got a good shot on him as well. Being a striker, he's a good football player. And I think people kind of forgot about that. That people wanted him back for the whole homecoming thing, for the poeticness of him. But what we've got is a really, really good striker for this level. And he's signed till the end of this season and then next season as well, whichever league we're going to be in. I think he's going to be very influential for his whole time left at Carlisle. He's getting on a bit now. And I don't know if he can keep it up for next season. But he's a really good footballer and it's class to have him. And look, he's keeping out the league's top goal scorer. Like, I think it's definitely a case of you have either Patrick or Gordon, and then on the other side you have either Dennis or Garner. They're the two, isn't it? It's Garner and Dennis. And Dennis is the league's top goal scorer, a very good striker. And Garner's managing to keep him out of the team, which is a big sort of massive plaudits to him. Dennis came on, didn't really do too much, but didn't look out of place anyways. But yeah, good win today. You know, I apologise for getting this out late. I was out last night, and I was at work all morning, so I haven't really had time to do a video until just now. I wanted to watch Liverpool Man United as well, and I'm very glad I did. Liverpool proven that there is only one United, and it's the one in the proper north. That'll annoy a lot of people, but yeah, there's only one United. Thank you for watching, and in a bit.